A little too close for comfort, folks, but the Golden State Warriors finish a successful homestand. 7 games in total. They go 6-1. That brutal Nuggets loss, the one blemish on an otherwise beautiful stay at home. I'm going to give you a positive spin on Stephen Curry's injury. I'll explain what I mean. Steph got hurt tonight, but it might just be a blessing in disguise. And yes, folks, this Warriors team can survive without Steph. They're not winning a championship without Steph, but they can win games thanks in large part to the incredible depth, thanks in large part to the addition of Mr. Jimmy Buckets himself, who, side note, hit a triple-double tonight. There's a lot to break down. It was close, but in the end, the Golden State Warriors are winners. Come join the party, everybody. Happy Thursday night. Tomorrow is Friday, and tonight, we're celebrating a Warriors win. This is the Golden Days.
They always find something to nitpick, and that's because there's expectations for us to win.
I do my best to do what everybody wants, and that's to win a championship.
Let's go. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up.
Welcome to Golden Days. That is the name of the program. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz. I'm your host for the evening. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at Dog Wild. Over on Twitter, my handle is Surf Journalist. The program's on both those platforms at Golden Days Pod. Oh, that was close. The Golden State Warriors victorious. A final score 117-114. Side note, I post my picks when I play daily fantasy sports. And a moment like this is when I'm very disappointed that Underdog Fantasy is currently not sponsoring this show. I hope the message is sent in some regards to that company. Come back. It was a beautiful partnership. I'm stealing money from you, but by doing so, me being happy, showing off the fact that I could actually win money with your application, you'd think the word would spread. You'd think that would be phenomenal advertising. Come back, Underdog, and thank you for another winner. Yes, a 6-pick winner tonight for my daily fantasy picks that I posted on both Twitter. I even posted it as an Instagram story. Come win money with me. You're welcome if you followed my lead. They are not a sponsor, but who is a sponsor? Visit Humboldt, one of the most beautiful places, not just in the good old US of A, but I'm going to proudly proclaim it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. And if you live in the San Francisco Bay Area where the Golden State Warriors play and they're based, it's not a far drive. It's 3 to 4 hours. And it isn't like a mundane drive either. So for example, if you're a Bay Area or Northern California resident and you make the drive down I-5 to Southern California, that is a dull drive. That's a drive that you want to be a passenger so you could sleep through the whole thing. Not the case if you're driving up to Humboldt. It's gorgeous. It's scenic. There's a lot of stops you can make on the way that have amazing coffee shops, beautiful wineries, incredible breweries. All that stuff's also available up in Humboldt, but the journey to get there is unbelievable. And then let you make your destination after 3 to 4 hours of driving, with the last part of it being through a majestic, beautiful, enchanting, giant redwood and sequoia forest. Then you actually get to Humboldt County itself, where you can enjoy the outdoors, you can enjoy dining, you can enjoy incredibly tasty beers and wine. Go have fun. Check out Visit Humboldt. That is the website for you to go to find places to stay, things to do. You can also DM me either on Instagram or Threads at Dog Wild. You can DM me. Actually, I don't think Threads is DM. So you can DM me on Instagram. You can DM me on Twitter at Surf Journalist. You can also email the program, warriors24pod@gmail.com. One more time, warriors24pod@gmail.com. Email me or DM me, and I will set you up with a fantastic itinerary of things to do in Humboldt County. Visit Humboldt.com is the website. Go enjoy. Thank me later. Tonight's episode also brought to you by Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform. March Madness kicked off. I believe my San Diego State Aztecs got their asses kicked. Look, you're the 14th seed. Expectations were not high for my alma mater, but you could have bet on the action. You could also have bet on the Warriors game tonight. The Warriors were favored by 14.5 points. They obviously did not cover the final score. Again, 117-114. But you could have bet on the Raptors, and you could have won some money while also celebrating a Warriors victory. That was tight. That was close. So the Warriors didn't cover the spread, but they still won the game. And you can win money with Bet Online. The game starts here. Welcome, everybody. It's Thursday night, which means tomorrow is Friday. That is some damn good news. Probably not as good of a piece of information, though, as the final score of tonight's game, a game that the Warriors made far closer than I think anybody who calls themselves a member of Dub Nation wanted. This was tense. This was tight. This was uncomfortable. But the Warriors come away victorious again, 117-114 in a game that had 14 lead changes. The Warriors' biggest lead in this game tonight was just 10. Toronto's biggest lead was just 7. It was a battle, and it was a battle that the Warriors can safely call victorious now, largely because of folks like Jimmy Butler, who posted a triple-double, folks like Jonathan Kuminga. His haters are not going to be speaking loud tonight. I guarantee you that, largely because he actually played well. I'm not saying that the haters are silenced. I can't control the behavior of other human beings. But what I can tell you is that if someone is hating on Jonathan Kuminga after tonight's game, you're going to look foolish. Kuminga, in what I consider to be the best game that he has pulled out since he's been back from the 31-game absence because of a severe ankle injury, was huge in this game on both sides of the court. The defense cannot be diminished because on Toronto's side of things, Emmanuel Quickley is a good basketball player. Does he make too much money? Probably. His contract is pretty ridiculous. But Emmanuel Quickley, who scored 21 points in this game, he was 3 of 7 shooting from deep. And Kuminga was assigned to him, essentially. He got the defensive assignment to guard Emmanuel Quickley, and it made a difference, especially in the second half. Quickley in this game had 13 of his 21 points in the first half. So the difference was clearly made with Kuminga's defense. Offensively, Jonathan Kuminga tonight made his first 3 since he's been back from the injury. Was only 1 of 5 shooting from deep, even though the shots look very good. So I guess if you're a Kuminga hater, you can point to the 3-point percentage of 20% as a sticking point. But he was 7 of 15 shooting from the field. Only had 1 free throw attempt in this game. I thought the refs, another night of disappointment from them. Case in point, and we're going to talk about Steph Curry's injury in just a minute here, but Steph on the play where he got slammed to the ground, maybe that's the wrong way of putting it because no one actually slammed him. It was a hard fall to the ground. What they're saying right now is that it was a pelvic contusion. It looked basically like he landed hard on his tailbone. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, but I bring that up now largely because there was no foul called on that play. Absurd. Side note, I'm going to try to say the word absurd less. I was watching a show the other night, and I think I used that word like 8 times. So I'm not going to use crutches for the lexicon of the English language. Forgive me for that. But it was ridiculous that NBA officials did not call a foul on that play. Nonetheless, with Stephen Curry out for the remainder of the game, I believe that injury occurred in the third quarter, Kuminga was needed, and he stepped up. 16 points on the night, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, added 2 steals, only 2 turnovers in 25 minutes and 15 seconds of play. JK was huge tonight. So too was Quentin Post. The Golden State Warriors are now 8-1 when he makes 3 or more 3-pointers in a game. Bob Fitzgerald uttered that stat a few times during tonight's broadcast for very good reason, because when Post is draining threes, the Warriors are damn hard to beat. And tonight, Quentin Post, he was 6 of 10 from the field, 6 of 9 shooting from deep. Let me repeat that one more time because that may sound insane to you. It's true. It's real. Quentin Post was 6 of 9 shooting from deep in this game. That's an unbelievable shooting night for the big man, for the 7-footer. Quentin Post, 18 points in this game on the 6 of 9 shooting from deep, added 2 rebounds, added a steal and a block. He was a +5 in net rating tonight. And Quentin Post and Jonathan Kuminga together led a very strong bench effort in this game. Gary Payton II was a late scratch. In case you were wondering where he was ruled out because of left knee soreness. Hopefully that's not anything serious. And his absence was felt on a lot of possessions tonight. But despite not having GP2, the Warriors bench, Quentin Post, 18 points. Jonathan Kuminga, 16 points. Buddy Hield made some huge threes in this game. And I believe most, if not all, were in the second half. And they were, because Buddy Hield had 0 points in the first half of this game, yet finishes the night with 8 points. Wait, how did he have 8 points when he only made... Oh, I was reading it wrong. My sincerest apologies for that. Buddy Hield was 1 of 3 shooting from deep, but he did have 5 free throw attempts and made all 5 of them. Buddy Hield was a lot more aggressive in the second half. So Buddy finishes with 8 points. And then Kevon Looney, who for whatever reason, we didn't see a lot of him early on, which stumped me because every time Toronto had the ball, players like Jakob Poeltl, players like Mogbo, there were a lot of dudes. Side note, Jonathan Mogbo. Didn't know much about him until tonight. But players like that were getting buckets far too easily. Jakob Poeltl had 18 points, 8 rebounds in this game. And I was a little surprised that Kevon Looney was not getting more of a run. We didn't see him until late in this game. In fact, Kevon Looney, let's see. So he played 4 minutes, 37 seconds in the first half. And it was a very inconsequential 4 minutes, 37 seconds. All of his contributions came in the, at least positively, in terms of difference-making contributions. Those came in the second half, only had 2 points. But the bench combined, I thought they played fantastic in this game tonight. Most of the points coming from Quentin Post and Jonathan Kuminga, who combined for 34 points. 44 points from the bench total tonight out of the team's 117, which was fantastic. But if we're going to talk about the difference maker of this game, I think it's going to be either Draymond Green or Jimmy Butler the third. What did I say? The second that we're going to be pointing to in terms of like who made it a huge difference in this game tonight. Who is our player of the game tonight? And I'll read the stat lines, and then I'd love to get the audience's contributions on that front because I want your perspective. I want your voice heard in whatever way we can make that happen. So I'm going to ask you in the audience right now, who should be the player of the game, courtesy of visithumboldt.com? Is it going to be Draymond Green, a player that the Toronto Raptors dared to beat them with his 3-point shot? You saw the back and forth exchanges between if you're watching the game, between the Raptors head coach and Draymond Green. The Raptors head coach was literally laughing every time Draymond hit a 3 because he was daring him to do it. And Draymond Green, there was a banter there. Draymond Green was talking his shit for good reason because it is a sign of disrespect to leave someone wide open like that for 14 3-point attempts. That is what Draymond Green had tonight. 14 3-point attempts. He made 5 of them. That's a little higher than 33%. You'll take that. Draymond was at 50% at one point. I think it was even higher than that before he started to break a lot of his late game 3-point attempts. Still finished 5 of 14 from deep, 7 of 18 from the field total. Draymond Green led the Warriors in scoring tonight. 21 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals for Draymond Green. So it's either going to be him or it's as our player of the game, or it's going to be Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler III, whose free throws at the end were the difference for my underdog fantasy ticket hitting. I won 9 times what I put in. No, I think I want him more than that. Anyways, here's Jimmy Butler's stat line. He had his first triple-double as a member of the Golden State Warriors. 16 points for Jimmy, 12 assists, 11 rebounds, added 2 steals, added 2 blocks, including that clutch block at the very end of the game. Was that on quickly? I think it was. Regardless, fantastic performance from Jimmy Butler tonight, especially with Stephen Curry going down with the injury in the third quarter. Moments like that are when you really appreciate Jimmy Butler, because without Jimmy, I don't think the Warriors win this game tonight. The Raptors were bringing the pressure. They were making a lot of buckets. And if Jimmy was not making clutch plays as a facilitator, as a scorer, as a defender, I don't think the Warriors win. But Jimmy Butler is a part of the Warriors. I love that fact, side note. And Jimmy Butler tonight, again, despite shooting 4-15 from the field, did make another three-pointer. He had 2 3-point attempts, made one of those. He was 1 of 2 shooting from beyond the arc. Didn't miss 3 free throws. One of those was at the very end. He had 10 free throw attempts total, made 7 of them, but 16 points, 12 assists, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks for Jimmy Buckets. Who's the audience voting? New Jersey saying Jimmy's the MVP. Fred Grimes randomly saying, did anybody hear Jimmy Butler yell, "Stay yo ass in the effing corner"? I did hear that. That was hilarious. Tim Ford bringing up that Jimmy Butler was just 1 of 10 shooting from the field in the fourth quarter. Is that true, by the way? Let me look that up real fast for confirmation. No, you were wrong. You were totally wrong, Tim Ford. Jimmy, and shame on you for this egregious mistake you made. Jimmy Butler was not 1 of 10 shooting from the field in the fourth quarter. He was 1 of 11. And I have no idea how that happened. I do not have a recollection of 10 missed field goal attempts from Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter, but he did. He missed 10 shots, only made 1. Yet despite that, 1J is saying that this was Jimmy's second triple-double. Can someone confirm that? Oh, yeah, and Julian Bashir is also saying this was a second triple-double. Was the first one early? Because I'm not thinking about that, and if I remember correctly, it was like a really low-scoring triple-double. Not that it's coming back to me, but I apologize for the mistake if I was mistaken there. A lot of people correct me on that. Thank you for the corrections. This is why I love the audience on a live show. Second triple-double for Jimmy Butler, which means he almost has 3 now, because the other night he came, 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double, or was it assists? I can't remember, but nonetheless, Shardal was even in the house. I'm sure we're going to hear from him a little bit, saying Jimmy Buckets for our MVP. So that's what we're going to go with. Jimmy Butler, congratulations. You are our Visit Humboldt.com player of the game. Jimmy Buckets with his his second triple-double. Although we have some votes for Draymond Green here as well. Ryan23000 saying Draymond easy. Julian Bashir bringing up in terms of Draymond Green that he took 14 threes. Yeah, that is insane. And if I don't remember a single one of those being contested, it was literally a situation where Toronto dared Draymond to take those threes, and he made just enough, 5 of 14 to make the Raptors pay for that. And especially when you consider that the margin of victory in this game tonight, 3 points, 117-114. God damn, was that crazy. So nonetheless, now there's some other votes for Dre. Like Ashish Narayan is saying Dre Olive Savis, I hope I pronounced your name right, saying Draymond Green. Jerry in our chat with a vote for Quentin Post. That's I feel you, but there are a slightly more votes. Heidi Fall for Draymond, but then Yogmuth, if I pronounced that right, saying Jimmy Butler, obviously. Dino Manrique dropping a Jimmy Butler triple-double. And then, of course, you have Art Dealer Worldwide with the utter insult of Kuminga. Kuminga always makes some low IQ plays. I don't know if you're aware of this, Art Dealer, but there's a contradiction in your sentence, because he can't always make those plays sometimes. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. But nonetheless, Patrick Singh also vote for Jimmy Buckets. We're going to go with Jimmy Buckets, but it was a close vote, at least from what I can interpret in terms of the total votes for tonight's player of the game. Congrats to Jimmy Butler. He was our visit Humboldt.com player of the game. A Tommy dropping $5 in our chat. Thank you very much for the donation by making a very astute point. The Orlando Magic, the Brooklyn Nets, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Toronto Raptors. Safe to say every team is going to bring their A game against the Warriors from here on throughout the postseason. Wholeheartedly agree. And just to add to that, I do find the annoyance in that the strategy for these teams seems to be very simple. Penetrate, collapse the defense, kick it out, shoot a three. Rinse, repeat. That's a strategy. That's what opposing teams do. That like 9 times out of 10, that is the play. Penetrate. If it's an easy bucket for you, take it. If they collapse, find the open dude, shoot a wide open three, and keep it a close game. It's such a simple yet sadly effective strategy that other teams unfortunately continue to implement against the Warriors, and for the most part it succeeds largely because of A. Tommy's point, which is absolutely correct. Teams show up when they play the Warriors. In a lot of other people's minds, when they see the Warriors, the dynasty is still coming up here, and there is another level that these other teams are bringing to the table in terms of effort, and it makes life hard. But that's the life of being a dynasty. This dynasty is not dead yet. The Warriors are in pursuit of a 5th title in 10 years. So you're going to get the A game from these teams. And the good news is, with Jimmy Butler now there to assist in these clutch games, they're winning, folks. They're holding on to those leads. Too much bringing up the Lakers. And did the Kings lose tonight? Oh, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. Little brother lost again. I can't believe the other day someone, and by the way, New Jersey, I'm going to give you this one for free. But if you want to bring up trading Kuminga, you got to drop at least $1.99. I will not address that otherwise because of the lunacy of it, given teams cannot literally make trades right now. And that's my whole point with the Kuminga hatred. Save the criticism for when it matters if you're a Warriors fan. If you're a hater, you're a hater. What are you going to do? This is not the time to be unnecessarily negative. What is the damn point? This is a team who's in serious contention for a championship. The trade deadline passed over a month ago. Save the criticism for the offseason, please. Otherwise, you're just a freaking hater. What good are you doing hating on this kid at this point of the season? I digress. Yeah, too much. Writing that the beam is broken. Adrian Gutierrez already mentioned that Quentin Post at 18 points. It was fantastic. He had a great game tonight. Again, the 6 of 9 shooting from deep for Quentin Post. Absurd. And he was taking pride in that. Did anyone, side note, notice Quentin Post raising the Chase Center crowd and waking them up? The Warriors were asleep for a lot of this game. The Warriors did not bring, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. The Warriors did not match Toronto's intensity tonight. And that's another problem the Warriors have with a lot of these games where they're playing teams that are lesser than in terms of talent and otherwise. They don't match the intensity. And Quentin Post, with his team half awake, with the Chase Center crowd half awake, he woke their asses up. Bravo, Quentin Post. Love this kid. Love the kid. Did I say how much I love Quentin Post? Ty Kim in the chat saying that the postman delivers his huge package. Do you know something we don't? Anyways, no, I get you. I feel you. Brandon Pajemski also had a solid game tonight. I want to give him some love real fast because this was a second game back after missing a handful of games due to the tweak in the lower back. In case you guys forgot, Quentin Post, like 10 seconds into a game during the team's last road trip, which they're about to embark on again, side note. We're going to talk about that as well in a little bit. Tomorrow, by the way, Rick Barry, the Hall of Famer, will join me at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. Hope you join us. Rick loves engaging with the audience. He answers questions. Should be a good time. We'll explore the schedule more with Rick tomorrow. But the upcoming road trip that the Warriors are going to be on, there is some good things that I'm going to share with you about that trip. Some perks of the schedule for the Golden State Warriors. But Brandon Pajemski, who, again, the last road trip, he went, oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back, oh, which for a 22-year-old is a little concerning. He did say during tonight's game, I think he was interviewed at halftime or leading into the half. He said he's not 100% yet, but man, is he looking good. Brandon Pajemski. The shot is beautiful. The hope that the Warriors front office, that the organization as a whole, that Dub Nation had for Quentin Post was him matching, or at least coming close to the 43.8% three-point shooter he was his second year in college, his second and final year in college at Santa Clara. And what we're seeing from Brandon Pajemski as a shooter is finally starting to show some semblance of that college version. Quentin Post is hitting his threes. You can't leave him open. That is for sure. And I think teams are noticing and have come to the realization of that. They're going to take a chance on Draymond Green being wide open. They're going to maybe take a chance with players like Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga being wide open for threes. Actually, Kuminga, I saw quite a few possessions tonight where he was just left completely alone. But you could also tell that the message has resonated with him. If Stephen Curry's on the floor with you, don't take that three. either attack or wait for the better shot opportunity to present itself. Nonetheless, Brandon Pajemski is a guy that was being left alone. And they're not doing that anymore. And when I say they, I refer to opposing defenses. Sorry, I had a hair in my mouth. Brandon Pajemski tonight played 34 minutes, 51 seconds, 6 of 14 from the field. That's not that good. 3 of 7 shooting from deep. That is good. 15 points for the kid, the youngest player in the Warriors still. 3 rebounds, just 1 assist. Again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. That's the part of his game that I think long-term needs to improve significantly if he's going to be a genuine player in the NBA. But nonetheless, 15 points again, 3 of 7 shooting from deep, 1 steal, and not much of a surprise when I tell you this stat, that Brandon Pajemski led the Warriors in net rating. Huge surprise. He plays winning basketball. He's Mr. Intangibles. He's Mr. I'm going to do a million things right and maybe a couple things wrong, but that translates to winning. Pajemski tied for the team lead in net rating tonight with, interestingly enough, Buddy Hield, who also finished with a +7 in net rating. But Brandon Pajemski, it's great to have him back. His value increases 1,000-fold when Stephen Curry's out. And that leads to the Stephen Curry discussion. He got hurt tonight. He landed very hard on his lower back. The microphones on the TV broadcast caught the thud of him falling. If you watch the game live, you know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of Steph obviously being in pain from that. Here's the thing. I don't know yet what the injury exactly is. The Warriors currently are reporting that it is, they're calling it a bruised pelvis. Now, and again, bruised pelvis seems like a very broad term for an injury, but what it looked like is a bruised tailbone, maybe even like a fractured tailbone, because he fell very hard. He was clearly in a shitload of pain. Didn't like seeing that, side note. I don't know how you would, but so that part of it sucked. Now, here's where the good news comes in. Provided the injury is what they're saying, it's a bruised pelvis. And that most likely translates to, more specifically, the tailbone. What do they call that scientifically? The coccyx, I think that's what it's called. That is not an injury that has long-term ramifications. That's not an injury that requires a complex recovery and recuperation. The medicine for it is painkillers and rest. And when you rest and let it heal, you're going to be fine. The blessing in all this is that the Warriors without Stephen Curry are 7-3 this year, which represents their depth and especially with Jimmy Butler on board, they don't miss much of a beat without him. Defensively, you can make the argument they're better without him. They get bigger when he's off the floor. I'm not making a case that this team is better than Stephen Curry. What I'm trying to tell you is that the Golden State Warriors won their 41st game tonight. There's 12 games remaining in the season. And while this is an injury, you could easily interpret this with a positive spin as this being a vacation for Stephen Curry to rest up, heal, and get ready for the games that matter, the postseason. I don't think this is going to hurt the Warriors in terms of their battle for playoff positioning. I think this roster is set to handle games without Steph. And again, this is a player who missed the Bucks game because he was exhausted. What is the perfect medicine for exhaustion? Rest. Steph, here's my message to Stephen Curry, and I highly doubt he's going to get it, but who knows? Take this time to chill, play with the kids, study film, relax, and come back fresh for the playoffs. We've seen this script before. If I'm not mistaken, I think Stephen Curry missed a handful of games in 2022 before the postseason started. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that in the chat, please. But my point is, as bad as the news is anytime Steph gets hurt, of all the injuries he could have suffered, this might have been one of the best ones possible for the simple reason that it's not affecting ligaments. It's not affecting joints. It's not a part of the body that may require a lengthy recuperation. It's not something that could linger and be an issue long-term. A bruise or even a broken coccyx, I hope I'm getting that part right, is an injury that players can come back from no problemo. And for Steph Curry's sake, this could end up being a massive blessing in disguise, because if Stephen Curry can come back in a couple of weeks 100%, every other team in the Western Conference and the greater NBA is freaking the F out. Now you have Steph rested and ready. Now you have Steph following the LeBron James playbook of, I'm going to sit back and just relax for 2 weeks so I can be fresh for the postseason. Sign me up. Everything is coming together for the Golden State Warriors. There is a lot of similarities between 2022 and this year. And this may be an incredible fortune in disguise for the Golden State Warriors. We shall see. I'm going to post a link to the chat now. God damn, I feel good about this Warriors team. Even with the fact that they only beat Toronto by 3. Like what's his name? Said in the chat. Tommy. Other teams bring their A game when they play the Warriors. So it is not a huge surprise that this game was close. The Raptors do have talent. The margin between the best player in the NBA and some of the worst players in the NBA is not that much to begin with. So I'm certainly not disconcerted in any regard because this game was close at all. They won. They have 41 wins on the season now. We're going to look at the standings in a little bit. And let's go to Julian. Welcome to the program. How the hell are you doing?
What's up?
What's up?
My first comment is to this art dealer guy. I always join the show. Not from India. You're a fucking troll. And Sai, I dare you to join the chat with me. Explain your stance of why every time you come into the chat and you say Kuminga is a low IQ. And that's to everyone in the chat. What do you expect from a 4-year player? I said the other day, his first 3 years better than Giannis. I'm not saying he's going to be Giannis. His first 3 years better than Jimmy Butler. Look up the stats, all right? And the only reason why he's not a 24-point per game scorer in his 4th year in the All-Star because he wasn't drafted to a lottery team, and he's not getting 35, 38 minutes per game like Giannis and Jimmy did his first 3 years. All you are bums coming here every single game trying to troll the chat instead of supporting the team that you say that you support. Because you should be supportive of Podzimski. You should be supportive of Kuminga. You should be supportive of Post. But all of you come in here and act like, he should be Kawhi Leonard right off the bat. That's impossible. You're never going to get a generational talent like that all the time. If you want to win a championship, you should hope that Kuminga is a solid 18-5 going forward. You should hope that he's Aaron Gordon for the Nuggets when they won their championship. Just a solid 15-5 guy, no turnovers, get the rebounds, do the hustle plays. If you really want this team to win a championship, stop getting on Podziemski every time he has a bad game. You should hope that he's Derek White. You don't need everyone to be a goddamn all-star to win a championship. You have Curry, you have Draymond Green, you have Jimmy Butler. Just support the players around them. Everyone in this chat, I've seen a few people even get on Quentin Post. He was on a two-way contract. He was just in the G League. He's the 52nd pick in the draft, and most nights he's out playing centers like Jonas Valanciunas and Nikola Vucevic. He outplayed Brook Lopez the other day. Jakob Poeltl making millions of dollars, and they have pretty much the same point stats. So you want to call me Indian and you want to say I'm from India and all this other bull crap, get on and talk to me. Otherwise, shut up. Stop coming in every time trying to say, oh, low IQ this, low IQ that. All right? I have the balls to come in and talk to Cy. So I'm here if y'all want to talk. But go to you, Cy. How you doing tonight?
Julian, all I can say to you is it's a much easier said than done to give this advice. And it's advice that I try to heed myself. These haters, these trolls will throw bait out all day, every day. And I'm guilty of it as well, man. I take the bait sometimes just because it's out there. It's very hard to resist responding to it. Why was there even an insinuation that, oh, and side note, by the way, ATGYY writes that it's my fault that I'm giving these haters attention. Look, ATGYY, if you spend any time on social media or other platforms besides this one, this ain't the only place where the haters exist. So no, it's not just me, man. Nice try, but that is, I am not at fault for the ignorance that's being espoused. Why did this person think you are? Why did our dealer think that you were Indian?
I don't know. Maybe he's racist because I have a beard. Who knows? Or maybe
maybe
that speaks to his trolling nature because Kuminga can have 5 assists, 0 turnovers, 18 points, and he'll still say he's a low IQ. Let me tell you, you think Jimmy Butler has a high IQ, right? Well, this is what Jimmy Butler says every post game. He says he'd rather have a shot on goal than a turnover. And Kuminga, most of his shots that he missed, he's getting fouled, but a shot on goal within 4 feet is better than a Buddy Hield missed 30-foot 3-point shot that's a shot on goal because that leads to long rebounds, leads to easy baskets. So when Kuminga misses a shot because he's getting literally hammered, it's a better shot than, say, a contested jump shot. And most of the times that he drives in and you say that, oh, he has low IQ, is because no one else around him was doing anything, and he has like 5 seconds on the shot clock in order to make a play. So you see, Kuminga is one of the few people on this team. Podziemski has joined that group as, hey, we have nothing to go on, so we need to throw it to somebody that can at least get a step back or do something. And I'll say this, a Kuminga drive gets you at least a 50-50 chance of either making it or getting a free throw shot. So I'm not mad at the kid, especially what he's going through, especially like the solid numbers that he gives us, because I'm not expecting him to be Kawhi Leonard. I want him to fit his role for this year to win a championship, play his defense. He's been playing really good defense, but you keep on ignoring that, most people in the chat.
Yeah, well, and again, tonight with GP2 out, Kuminga's got the assignment. Quentin Grimes was the best player in the Raptors. It was Kuminga guarding him late in the game because Steve Kerr has elevated his trust in Kuminga. Let's take a step back for a second. Why is our country of origin a talking point here?
Oh, no, it's just something he says. He's a troll. So if he believes that, Kuminga, Quentin Post, or anyone else is bad, then he's just going to throw in something.
All right, so our dealer, I'm going to throw this to you because, A, Julian's the one that's actually showing his face on this show right now, who's actually articulating himself in an intelligent manner. And you're sitting here bringing up race and ethnicity, which has zero bearing to anything. Yeah. So if we're going to talk low IQ, our dealer, I'm going to point it right back at you, man. You can't be throwing terms like that on anyone when you're like evoking race unnecessarily and in an irrelevant manner. So I don't get that. I don't know what's going on with politics. Like Baby Case saying the pelvis injury, ... you dimwit, clueless liberals. What's going on here? Why is racism and politics permeating in our chat? This is supposed to be a Warriors show. We're supposed to be celebrating a Warriors win tonight. And of course, yet again, the trolls are out. Our dealer, come on the show if you don't want to be, if you want to actually have some respect for yourself, instead of coming off as the hater and the racist hater at that you really are sounding like. Be careful with the words too in the chat. I will start blocking people. I do not accept racism at all. That is one of my biggest boogie-boos, if you will. Do not bring race into the equation. It is literally the definition of ignorance. You're stereotyping. You're prejudiced. It is bad. It's a bad look, man. Please get away from that. So with all that said, there's a lot of other people that want to come on the show. Julian, I apologize that you were targeted with race. That's not cool. I don't like that.
Well, the thing is, I'm not even India anyway. But I can't wait to hear Shardal. I hope you're in the chat waiting. But whoever else you got to get to, great win.
Julian. But Julian, thanks for coming on, man. No, you made a good point.
Anytime.
And again, when people say Kuminga has a low IQ, it's it's a reflection of your own lack of acumen, for the simple reason that that's your dumb opinion. If Kuminga was committing a lot of turnovers, for example, okay, now you have some evidence of low IQ, but he's not doing that. So like you like the Kuminga haters like to cherry pick. Oh, he might have made a bad decision on a certain possession.
Yeah, my thing is not critiquing somebody. You can, but a lot of them critique in wins. A lot of them critique when we should come here and say, like, yo, great win. And the first thing that they do is, oh, low IQ, bad this, bad that. And I might fall into it and I'll start pointing at other players, but they have a consistent theme. No matter if we win or lose, it's, hey, let's attack this player. And it gets sickening. It gets tired after a while.
Yeah, you're right, Julian.
If he had a really, really bad game, okay, let's talk about that. But don't isolate somebody and ignore everyone else. I love Curry, and I might joke around, but with that game that he was tired, and you can tell those passes were bad. Those were low IQ passes. It doesn't mean that he has a low IQ, but if you come in and say, "Oh, it's Kuminga's fault," no, it's not. Let's spread the blame if there is a reason to. But if we have wins, just come in and just say, "Hey, this person did good." Moses Moody, 0 for 5, but let's say he played good defense. That's it.
I love it, Julian. Thank you, brother. I agree with everything you said. We're gonna get to Malcolm. Julian, what are you doing tonight before we go, or this weekend? Because it's Thursday night. That's never lost on me. This is a sweet moment in life each week. The weekend is right there. What are you doing, brother?
I'm going to take a page out of Size book and spark up. All right.
And watch some incredible shows or TV, or maybe take the pup out for a hike somewhere, or go surf.
Exactly.
In this case, it's too cold for surfing right now. I'm chilling. So you're just relaxing, brother, right?
Yeah, always.
Beautiful. Enjoy. That sounds like a weekend for me. Thank you, Julian. You made fantastic points. Bravo, sir. Let's get to Malcolm. The Warriors won tonight. Let's make things positive, please. Floor is yours, Malcolm. How are you doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. Speak up a little bit, though, please, but I can hear you.
Yeah. Is it better now?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. It was a great game, and I really don't want to choose between the MVP of the game, between Draymond and Jimmy, because both of them were really just amazing, and Draymond offensively actually, pulled up 14 threes. That was surprising. He made 5 of them. And Jimmy, too, with the triple-double. Both of them were just on their A game. So it's promising, and I liked it. But one thing I didn't like was the closing lineup, because, honestly, I think we could have won the game way earlier than we did if we had maybe a shooter out there. Because, Butler, he was driving a lot, and he was kicking it out for the passes. And, because we didn't have, that many three-point shooters, he would pass it to them and they wouldn't make it. And honestly, I think we ended with Pajemski, Moody, Jimmy, Draymond, and Kuminga. So honestly, Moody didn't really have a great game. So I would have probably put Post for Moody, but Moody's defensive abilities is why he's there too. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing, and I kind of wish Guy Santos got more minutes because GB2 was out. So. And I've noticed because Kuminga's back, Guy Santos has taken a step back with the minutes, but kind of. I mean, even when Kuminga was out, there were games where Guy was
would get a limited run. Like tonight, for example, I thought he played his role well, which was just bring the energy. You know, his stat line is very empty. No points, no field goal attempts. Had 2 assists, and he only had 1 rebound, but I remember that rebound very well. It was timely. It was clutch. I hear what you're saying. Guy is awesome. If there's any good news regarding Guy Santos, and if you're bummed about the fact that maybe his minutes have diminished a little bit, although I don't think there's a correlation between that and Kuminga. It's just, I think a lot of it is just Steve Kerr feeling out the game and whether or not he's going to play a good role in it. And I'm not defending it. I'm just trying to justify what's going on here.
Yeah.
But Guy Santos will be a part of this team for many years to come. And the fact that he is okay with his role, the fact that we can rely on him. I'm sorry for using the word we, but we as fans of the Warriors, the fact that we can rely on Guy Santos in the postseason, even if it's just for a quick 5-minute stretch, that's huge. And I feel you, but at the same time, with Guy Santos, like, I'm comfortable knowing that he's going to be around for years to come. He's cool with his role. Like 3 months ago, nobody was even talking about Guy Santos.
Yeah.
I love the kid, brother, but I also feel what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just his energy is so infectious. So sometimes he'll be helping out like the other teams. So that's what I just like seeing him. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. But and Kuminga, I think he did really better this game. He had a good game.
Oh, real quick, wait, hold on, Malcolm. You're the one that coined Gooey? Is that right?
Oh yeah.
And now you're calling him Guy. What's going on here? You're over it? No more Gooey? Is Gooey retired?
I kind of forgot because I've been listening to the media so much. I've been listening to y'all's talk, and I kind of forgot about it low key.
It's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. I just loved your reference. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Kuminga had a better game. I liked his shot selection when he drove. He didn't really have that many bad shots. He did shoot like a lot of threes, but he was open, so I don't really blame him on that. And honestly, seeing Kuminga's game, his potential just limitless. Like honestly, I could see him like develop into like Shea type of player. Like the way he drives, if he could develop that mid range and like add like change of pace and like, you know, honestly, like if he could like develop his game like Shea, that would be amazing. And honestly, I love seeing Kuminga play out there. And yeah, I just want to see next year.
Well,
once
and
he
that's the
gets
thing.
his contract.
Kuminga, look, he's 22 years old. He turned 22 this year. He's the second youngest player in this team. He didn't have a traditional upbringing in terms of stereotypical NBA player. Like he wasn't an AAU type guy. He was in the Congo or a country near there, witnessing like war crimes, growing up in poverty. And so he had a very different path that was not traditional, changing high schools every year when he came here at 14. I guess the reason why I have a hard time stomaching the hatred when it comes to the criticism is like he's not playing bad basketball. He's making mistakes that any 22-year-old would make, especially with the lack of experience that he has. Like a player of his stature on any other team would be playing well above 30 minutes per game at this point. He's in year 4 and until December could not get the minutes. So you have to have a realistic expectation with Kuminga. You have to have some patience with him. Like Frank Grimes in the chat, I saw you earlier mention that you're tired of him pulling up for shots with 3 defenders on him. That happened, 3 months ago? And Steve Kerr called him out for it. He's not still doing it. I have a hard time accepting criticism based on one possession, one play. I mean, if we're going to do that, you might as well start hating on Stephen Curry for committing 3 turnovers tonight. He had 3 of them. You're talking about one play where Kuminga took an ill-advised shot. Stephen Curry had 3 bad plays tonight. Is he now? Are you going to rip him? It's just get over it. That's all I'm saying. All right. Yeah. It was one play. Oh, so Frank Grimes is saying it was 2 games ago. Did he do it over and over again? Or did that one play in one game drive you crazy like this? And if yes, why? Why are you so obsessed with that? Never mind the fact that the Warriors are in a title hunt right now. What good does it do focusing on that now? Save it for the offseason, man. Save it for when it's relevant. Not now when the team's in a title chase. It's ridiculous. Sorry, go ahead, Malcolm.
Yeah, honestly, Kuminga's gonna be pivotal for our playoff push. Honestly, if he could score 16 points per game, get a few assists, rebounds, and honestly, have you noticed him on the offensive rebound side? He's been getting some offensive rebounds, some putbacks. So honestly, he's gonna be pivotal for that. So honestly, I could see him being an all-star next year. Honestly, if he develops correctly, the summer works hard, he could be an all-star next year. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to see what they do in the postseason. And yeah, I agree with him. They can't win a title without Kuminga. That's actually obvious. And
Malcolm,
yeah,
have a great night, brother. It's always great to hear from you.
thank you.
Thank you, brother. Great to hear from Malcolm, who coined gooey Santos. If you ever hear us mention that word, it is because of Malcolm, who made a simple mistake pronouncing his name, and that has now become a moniker for gooey Santos. I love that. As soon as sound comes in from Steve Kerr or company, I will 100% play that on the show. I don't see any sound being published quite yet, although I did see that at least a tweet that that Steve Kerr said Stephen Curry is going to go in for an MRI soon for the pelvis injury. So we shall see on that. And again, I'm sorry to go back to Frank Grimes, but just real quick, besides the fact that I said this a couple days ago when Kruger was on, and I'll say it again. Why won't any of you Kuminga haters actually have a conversation with me? I know the answer. It's called a rhetorical question. It's because you can't hold a conversation criticizing Kuminga because the only criticism you have is your own dumbass opinion. Like, for example, oh no, he took a shot over 3 players. Never mind the 30, 40 other possessions he was involved in where he played good basketball. But Frank Grimes says, I want to win. Did they lose tonight? Did they lose the last game? Kuminga's been back 5 games. They're 4-1. So they're winning. So why the hell are you still bitching? There's 12 games left. What good does it do bitching now? Does it make you feel better? Is this your demented way of therapy? I'm just trying to understand the mentality. Or are you just trolling and you have fun just pushing buttons for other people? Regardless, it just doesn't make any goddamn sense. Let's go to Gary Garcia. I would bring you on, Gary, but it says your device is not connected. So we will go to the great Chardol.
Hey, Cy. It's
Hello. You have a new logo.
Cy, I'm a big fan of your content. I love all your videos that you make on the channel. I think you're a great host. You do a great job covering the Warriors.
Have you been? You've been missing for a few days. Where have you been?
I've been going to the gym and working out. I've been doing stuff. I was busy.
Is Golden Days on the TV there when you're at the gym?
It's on the TV. It's on my phone when I'm at the gym.
Well, that's cool. I'll take that. Okay, thank you.
This was a great win for the Warriors. They take down the Toronto Raptors 117-114. I would like to talk about the Steph Curry injury. I'm a big Stephen Curry fan. I am a diehard fan of Stephen Curry. I love him so much. I have 2 of his jerseys. And that was devastating. Like seeing that guy fall flat on falling hard on the court. It was just like hard to see. Like I never like to see anything like that. Like injuries.
He looked like he was gonna cry from pain, dude. I've never seen him like that. Have you?
He was crying on the court due to pain.
It looked like it. Yeah, he looked like he was in real pain. I've never seen him in that much pain. It was hard to watch. 100% give you that.
I could compare that injury that Stephen Curry faced. It was similar to Patrick McCaw. Remember when back in 2018 when Vince Carter Patrick McCaw was airborne. Vince Carter caught him airborne in the air and he fell and he cracked he broke he hurt his back. Remember that Patrick McCaw from the Warriors?
And Ryan Leong's going to give more insights in just a moment. He's joining us now, but continue on, Chardol, please.
This was a great victory. It's a statement. They got to keep winning more games like this. I know this was not a blowout victory, but like I'll take whatever. A victory is a victory for me in my eyes. I don't care if it's a 3-point victory or a 4-point victory or a 5-point victory or a 6-point victory. Victory is a victory. That's my motto.
James Baum in the chat adding that they carried Patty McCaw, fine Irish lad, Patrick McCaw, off in a stretcher on that play.
Jimmy Butler had a triple double. His second triple double. Jimmy Butler is a transcendent player. He is amazing.
Agreed.
That guy can revolutionize a whole game. You think he could be? You think Jimmy Butler can be Jimmy Butler 2.0?
Do I think Jimmy Butler can be Jimmy Butler 2.0?
Like a much better version of Jimmy Butler. That's what he's looking like right now.
Shardal, we have some sound coming in, and I want to get to Ryan, and I got at least two other people who want to join us as well. Any final thoughts, Shardal, before we move on?
My final thoughts are great. It's great that you had me on the show today. I love everything you do on the channel, brother. Guys, make sure to click the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring that notification bell for Golden Days. Reference the Stoner movie Dazed and Confused by Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, sir.
And I love all the content you bring to the channel, and it was great great coming on, and I'll definitely see you next time. And I also had a similar incident with what happened to Steph Curry when he fell and he was crying in pain.
Buttocks?
No, I was in high school, and I sprained my ankle. I fell awkwardly, and I rolled my ankle and sprained it. I sprained my ankle.
That's
I
awful.
fell off a couple of stairs, and I landed all wrong on my foot, rolled it, and they had to take me on a wheelchair, and I was crying sitting down when I sprained my ankle.
Moses Moody even just heard your story, and here's his reaction.
I mean, it sucks.
Yeah, that's an awful story, man. I'm sorry. Even Moses Moody has sympathy for you. Shardal, am I going to see you Saturday night?
I'll be unfortunately I won't be on the show Saturday night. I'll be going to a Sharks game with my friends up in San Jose. We're going to a hockey game up in San Jose. We're gonna have dinner in San Jose at around 6 o'clock. And then we're gonna walk over to the arena. So I won't be there on Saturday, but make sure to look for me next time I come on the show. Make sure to look for me.
Love it. Oh, and Perry Olson adding another movie with Days in it. Glory Days with Ben Affleck as a UC Santa Cruz student. Actually, I don't know about that one, but we'll find. Thank you so much,
Ryan.
Yeah.
How do you like my logo? It's supposed to be the Barry of Butchers. Jimmy Butler's a butcher, and then a butler, and then Steph Curry is the chef, and they're supposed to be like a graphic take on Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry.
My one piece of constructive criticism, if you don't mind, sir, make it bigger.
Yeah. Oh, it's
make
cool.
it bigger.
I had to zoom in my my computer.
I don't know how to make it bigger.
Okay, we'll work on that, Shardal. We'll see you soon, all right, brother? I love you. I'm sorry, we got to move on because of time. Ryan, how you doing? Good to see you. Okay. So let's hear from Ryan before we get to you.
Great, man. He's got to move quicker, man. You can't have these long pauses. Yeah.
Shardal is he's awesome. I don't know what else to say about that. And the beautiful thing about Shardal, he's a work in progress. As time goes on, you're going to see a more and more polished product. I love the guy, and I love Ryan Leong.
New Yorker here, man. You got to get to the point.
Ryan Leong is with NBC News Radio with Bay Area Sports Wrap. You can follow him on Twitter at Ryan Leong. Ryan, before we get to you, though, I want to play this soundbite from Steve Kerr because this Stephen Curry injury is important, and I really hope it's not serious. Let's quickly hear from Steve Kerr because this is the first time I've seen sound come down. Turn the volume up on your devices. I believe this is from Anthony Slater. Here is Steve Kerr talking about Stephen Curry's injury tonight.
Getting an MRI right now. I just kind of fell pelvic, tailbone area. So he was trying to come back. He thought he might be able to come back, and we just decided not to risk anything. And so hopefully it's not bad, but he's getting imaging right now.
He had a similar injury. You probably remember a few years ago. Have you talked to him at all? Did it,
I have not seen him. He's by the time we got down there, he was already gone getting that imaging.
Gotcha.
All right. And we're joined again by Ryan Leong, who covers the Warriors among many teams, many sports. Your reaction to the game and anything you've heard about Stephen Curry besides what Steve Kerr just reported right there.
Well, no, unfortunately, because I'm in the visiting interview room area.
Right.
So,
But you talk
nobody's
to
going to be better
people.
than Anthony Slater getting the answer that he got. Now, it's funny. When it happened, I saw the injury take place. Not post-game, man. I don't have time. I'm going to the visitors. I'm coming here. I don't have time post-game.
Okay. But the
If I
game
do that, I'm
okay,
not
go ahead,
making
go ahead.
your podcast.
Why is there a delay? What's going on with you
So,
tonight?
yeah.
Is the internet bad there for you this
Surprised
evening?
what he did. I remember he had the injury. Well, remember when he had that injury in Houston, okay? He landed on that one before. It caused him a lot of pain and a lot of grief.
Correct.
So, it's all for that.
It is. Your internet sucks
Yeah, we're
tonight,
having
Ryan.
my
I don't know
internet
what's
or your
going on.
internet. We have some issues here.
Yeah, you are having issues there because like your face is frozen, your audio is barely coming in. Do me a favor, just leave and come back because sometimes that fixes it. And you have the link. Just do me a favor, Ryan, and just reset things. He'll join us again in just a second because that was not working at all, and that's okay. While we wait for Ryan Sachin, did I pronounce that right? How you doing?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
I can't hear you though, so.
You can't hear me? Can everyone
Yeah, nah, I can't hear you. If you can hear me.
Oh, that sucks. Is that the same for everyone else? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you? Well, but you're answering my questions though. How do you not hear me if you can answer me? Let's get Ryan Leong back on the show, and Sachin's with us as well. Although Sachin claims he can't hear me. Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good,
I think we're good now. So
You're better. It's already a million times better.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What was your reaction? Sachin, come back in just a second to try again. What was your reaction, Ryan, to tonight's game? A thriller. I don't know if it should have been a thriller, but I think as someone said astutely earlier tonight from the chat, teams show up. They take it to the next level when they play the Warriors, and the Raptors are a perfect example of that.
You know what? You can't. People have to stop doing this, especially. Yeah. Well, us in the media, we can't be looking at a team's record and say the Warriors should be blowing these guys out by 30 points. They're still an NBA team, okay? If the Warriors play somebody from the G League and it's a close game, then okay, you can make that argument. But when you're playing NBA teams, you're going to get a team's best. And when they see that you're beatable or they can use it as momentum to get better, hell yeah, they're going to come out and play fired up. So I get really annoyed when people say that, this game should be a blowout. No, it shouldn't. I think if anything, teams rise up to the occasion, and maybe the Warriors, to a certain degree, play down to the level of their opponent.
Agreed. That's a great call because the Warriors, at least in the first half of this game, in all honesty, it felt like until the Stephen Curry injury, the intensity was not brought to the table on the Warriors side of things. And Baby Cakes in the chat, by the way, brings up an interesting point. And I brought this up earlier as well, but just to reiterate, the NBA officiating is utter trash. I think that's a universal opinion in the same way that the approval rating of the Democratic Party right now is the lowest it's ever been. I'd say the approval rating of NBA officials is right there with them. And tonight, the Stephen Curry injury, the play, and I'm sorry to call out the Democratic Party, but I just saw a poll the other day that said that. Sorry to get political. It's just permeating in our audience tonight. I digress. The officials are very unpopular. They do a lot of stupid things. They make a lot of calls that make no damn sense. Stephen Curry gets injured tonight on a play where I thought he was clearly injured. I saw a few plays with Jonathan Kuminga where I thought he was blatantly fouled, and he was calling for it as well. Kuminga's not the type to whine repeatedly to the refs. If he's complaining, in all likelihood, he got hit. What was your take on the officiating tonight? Oh, it's not me, folks, is it? Sachin.
No. I tried the Wi-Fi now, so I switched. I switched off the Wi-Fi. I mean the plug. Now I'm trying the Wi-Fi. I think it's gonna be better.
Yeah. Well, don't you normally do that, or no?
No. Yeah. Normally I'm plugged in, but tonight it's not working well. So I'm trying Wi-Fi. It looks like the Wi-Fi is working. So
What were your thoughts on the officials, brother?
Things to. Typical NBA officiating. I don't expect anything from the officials. They're not getting any better. In fact, it's funny. As the younger they get, and you get these new officials coming in to replace the what do you call it, the Scott Fosters and the Bennett Salvatores and who's that guy, the Tim Donahues of the world. Their replacements are not getting better. They're not improving. And it's like baseball, right? You need more technology to keep these guys in line, which is really sad. I mean, I think the officiating was probably better, back like 30, 40 years ago.
Let's. Do you mind if we try bringing Sachin on the show again, Ryan? Because he couldn't hear me before. Sachin, can you hear me now? And if yes, what's on your mind, brother?
All right, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to talk about the game. Like, obviously, this game doesn't matter much in the grand scheme of things. Like, you beat the Raptors, but I would say it's a pretty good game considering Steph's out. You probably feel that in the arena. I know, Ryan, you were there. You probably feel that in the arena, kind of like the star players down. You rally back. I think they were down by 7 at that point, and they came back and won the game. So it's a good test for the team, and they've been winning on this homestand, apart from the Nuggets game, which we don't talk about. But my question is, if the Warriors were to make the playoffs and they were a top 6 seed, what team would you want to see? And because matchups matter a lot, right? So
it does. No, 100% agree, especially in the postseason.
Okay, so
that's a great question. And Sachin, your levels are kind of off, so I'm gonna cut you off here. I'm really sorry. Please don't take this as a rude gesture. It's just your levels were up and down. Come back, please. But I heard the question. It's a great question from Sachin. Who would be the ideal first round playoff matchup for the Warriors? Ryan, I'll start with you. What do you think?
Well, obviously, you don't want to face the Nuggets, so anybody but them. I think if it gets to the Lakers or anybody else, I think the Warriors have a chance. I just wouldn't want to see them against Denver, right? I just think Denver's the one team.
Yeah, to me,
they haven't had a lot of success against the Clippers, at least in the regular season. But I think the Warriors. I think the Warriors are running against anybody but Denver.
The good news with the Clippers is it's very unlikely, highly unlikely, that they're going to play the Clippers in the first round. Simply because they're too close to each other. The Warriors would have to elevate to like the 2 seed or 3 seed. Possible. I mean, we can't rule that out either. But with 12 games to go, I don't know if that's going to happen. Houston, to me, is the ideal opponent. Like they're inexperienced. Any team that does not have a surefire number 1 leading the way, like taking the big shots when it matters most, to me is who you want to target. That is your postseason victim right there. And Houston, they're a good team. Like 2 years ago, they were irrelevant. They sucked. They were in the middle of a rebuild. Ime Udoka shows up and immediately turns that franchise around, and they're relevant again. With that said, if Fred VanVleet is who you're afraid of most for shots at the end of a game, I'm taking Houston all day, every day. Memphis would be my second favorite option for the Warriors to face, simply because inexperience. They've beaten them before. They know that opponent. They beat them already twice this season, 2 out of 3 games. So those would be my 1-2 in terms of preference. I think the Warriors can beat the Lakers, but that's going to be a tough first-round matchup, but that's what happens. The Nuggets, they scare the shit out of me. The Warriors and Nuggets play each other on April 4th. And I think that those are the options, right? I mean, is there anyone else who the Warriors could theoretically play? I think those are the 4 teams that will likely be one of the matchups. Right, Ryan? What do you think?
Let's see, 3, 6. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they could play the Grizz, but obviously they play the Nuggets. Just like that's the one you don't want. Like I said, that's the one. I think the Warriors, like I said, I'm going to stick with what I said. They've got a pretty chance in Denver.
Ryan, dude, I don't want to be a dick. I never want to be a dick. But your internet connection sucks balls tonight. It's awful. I don't know what's going on.
It's really bad. We'll probably cut it short then. I don't know why. Well, yeah, and the thing is, I tried both already with either the cable or the Wi-Fi, and they're not working. So maybe
I think it's something going on there. It happens. And I'll say this: what's happening to you right now is what's happening to you right now is the single biggest reason why I'm always hesitant to do a show from Chase, is because I don't know how reliant that internet connection is. But Ryan, let's do this. Are you free Saturday? Because the Warriors are about to go on a long road trip, and I'd love to bring you on for at least one of those shows. Saturday or sometime next week, you tell me, brother. Let's bring you back on for one of those shows.
Well, there's one thing Saturday. I could do Saturday. They're on the road, right? Or who are they playing on Saturday?
They play the Hawks.
Against who?
The Hawks. Okay, and tip-off is 4 p.m. Saturday, so we'd be going live at about 6:30.
Okay, we can do that. You know where I'll be live from?
No.
The Shark Tank.
Let's do it. If you're down, let's do it.
I'm down. I'll be there.
Let's do it.
I'll be
We'll
there.
see Saturday, okay?
Cool. Sounds good, man.
All right, brother. Sorry for the short show with Ryan Leong tonight, but that's what happens when the internet sucks. Let's go to Damo. Domo. Correct me, please. How are you doing tonight?
Damo. How you doing?
Doing okay.
How you doing?
Doing okay. How about yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Good. I'm from Australia.
Welcome.
We've been doing really, really, really good.
You Aussies, side note, are my favorite people on the planet. I'm sure you've heard this a million times. Everywhere I've traveled on this blue planet of ours, you folks, when I come across an Aussie or a group of Aussies, I end up just hanging out with you folks and end up having the time of my life. So whatever is going on down in Australia society, I feel like the parents are raising the kids right. Just wanted to throw that out there and continue on. Sorry, Demo.
Yeah, we've been doing great. Since Jimmy Butler's turned up, we've been doing absolutely great. There is no problem with us. We are at least, can I say we're at least Western Conference?
What do you mean?
Finals?
Western Conference Finals.
Well, I think we're good enough. I think we're good enough to get there.
Easily. Do you think they're good enough to win the championship?
Oh.
Damo, what are you doing, man? It sounds like you're like in a kitchen washing dishes. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm cooking dinner. Sorry. Yes.
It sounds like
Technically, yes.
It sounds like it, man. All right, what are you doing? Are you cooking for family? Like, what's going on?
It's nearly 5 o'clock, so I'm cooking dinner for us all.
I like it. What are you cooking?
Fried rice. But yeah,
right? Well,
no,
you're not just cooking. Yeah.
Look, ever since Jimmy Butler turned up, we have been really good. There is no one on our roster that I'd trade for. Everyone is good.
You can't make trades this season anyways, Dano.
I know that. But everyone, Schroeder's gone, and Lindy Waters gone, and even our Canadians gone. But everyone,
you're talking about
we've been doing so good.
Dano, we're trying to get the show going here, and I feel like it's hit the brakes. Any final thoughts before I go to Ryan and as we start wrapping it up? Oh, and Frank's dad, whoever that is. Go ahead.
We are going good.
Awesome.
We are going to the finals.
Dano, I love the energy. Dude, come back when you're not making dinner with the family. I want your concentration. I want your full focus. But thank you, Dano. I love that you're joining us from the other side of the planet. And go Dubs. I agree with you. I think they're gonna at least make the Western Conference Finals. I need to see that April 4th match against the Nuggets to feel better about their ultimate prospects. Let's go to Ryan. Welcome.
What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
So I've been watching your show, and I've been seeing some people talk about like hating on Kuminga and all that stuff. My input in that is like Kuminga, like his new deal coming up. That's what I'm worried about. It's not I don't hate him. I'm just worried about like him getting paid like $225 million, and he's not really producing at that level yet.
That's fair.
I just want to hear your input on that. I think that's
fair.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm not talking about it now is because it's irrelevant. We will cover that subject ad nauseum when the season's over. But right now, it's like, I don't understand what the point is of discussing it now. I will say this. Jonathan Kuminga, let's say for the sake of argument, he gets the deal he wants, which is $35 million a season, 5 years, right?
Okay.
It's not going to handicap the Warriors. The salary cap is going to go up so high that by the time you start getting to year 3 and 4 of Kuminga's deal, it's going to look like a bargain.
That's fair.
And it's not going to handicap the Warriors in terms of aprons. It's not going to put them in a situation where it's not going to hurt the team, is what I'm trying to say. The salary cap is set up right now because you have so many contracts going off the books next year as well. You have the cap going up as well because the media rights deal is starting to kick in, the new one. If your worry is his salary is going to affect the team in terms of free agency, in terms of hurting them, getting other players, I'm not worried about that because if you look at the numbers, the Warriors are going to be fine.
All right. That's just my only thing. I don't hate Kuminga. I think he's a really great player. I think his inside game is better. I think that you should utilize him more on that. I think he needs to drive more. I don't think he should be taking 3-point shots, but he has to because people won't respect him if he doesn't take the shot. So
agreed.
Sense.
But
yeah.
he was up to 35% from three, and that'll come back. It's, I'm not that worried about it.
We got to give him grace because he just came back, and
exactly.
Talk shit. Yeah, I get it.
Well,
that's
and
all
here's
I wanted to say.
I'm glad you approached this in the most professional manner imaginable. You were respectful. You were calm. No, you were fine. I just to add to this, and the biggest reason why I'm not a JK critic like a lot of people are. I'm not going to criticize anybody who doesn't get a fair shot. And you look at any player in the NBA who has made it, right? Anybody. You name the player, I'll go through his log to prove the point. And they played 30-plus minutes a season from their rookie year on. The rookie year of Kuminga for the Warriors, justifiable, dude. They won a championship that year. No one's arguing that Kuminga should have played more than 17 minutes or whatever the total was. But from year 2 on, for a player that some people projected to be the number 1 pick in one of the deepest drafts in NBA history, he fell to the Warriors to 7. They were lucky as F-bomb that happened, and we have yet to see him get an opportunity. If he has an actual opportunity to play, meaning 30-plus minutes, and he's still playing like shit, I'm piling on too. But every single time he actually gets minutes, and because this is one criticism I have of Kuminga, for example. He doesn't start games off strong. That's an MO of his. It's not a universal thing. Some games he will start strong, but typically, like tonight, for example, I thought he had a great start to the game. And just to validate that with statistics here, Jonathan Kuminga in the first half of this game, where he was pulling up for mid-range jumpers and hitting them, he was attacking the paint. Kuminga was 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from deep, 14 points, 2 assists, and a rebound in the first half. Fantastic, right?
No, he was amazing.
But that's not normally the case. Normally, he's starting off weak. And that's been my whole point with Kuminga from the get-go is he is someone like a lot of players who sometimes has to establish a rhythm, as I'm losing my voice here, to really get going. And some players you don't see the full product until they play a full game. And Kuminga's never playing full games. And again, I understood it the first year. Did not understand it the second year. And so
that
forth.
second year was crazy. They when they were in the Kings. I remember the playoff series. I know he didn't play great, but why not use him in the Lakers series? They totally botched that. The second series, they literally didn't play him at all. It made me insane watching that Lakers series. And he sat on the bench, and we needed a player like him.
Ryan, if you were watching me on the old show back in that playoff series, I was going crazy because
so we agree with that.
1,000% with you. 1,000%. Like that series, that Lakers series drove me insane because the Warriors needed size, and the only answer Steve Kerr had was JaMychal Green. And Kuminga was getting, I don't want to get too much into that because it pisses me off. And Andrew Wiggins was laying eggs, and that was just year 1 of a 3-year period of Wiggins where he just was underperforming, underachieving. Yeah, so Kuminga, my whole point has always been, let this kid get a fair shot, and then let's judge and assess. Until then, I don't know how anyone can have these strong opinions about him when there is no decent sample size to properly formulate judgments or opinions on him. So and again, our dealer worldwide. This is the types of takes that I see all the time pertaining to Kuminga. Bad luck charm. Right? What is the analysis in that? What is that's a superstition, but that's your criticism. It's absurd, dude. It is
absurd. We won every game except 1.
What's up?
We're 3-1 with Kuminga already.
4-1 now. 4-1 since he's back. Yeah, 4-1.
That's crazy. You can't say that.
He scored they won
a championship his rookie year. How is he a bad luck charm? That's crazy.
But that's why I call these people haters. And again, there's 12 games left in the season. Save these conversations for when it actually matters, which is June, July. We'll beat this to a dead horse then. Not now. They just won another game. They won their 41st game of the season. They're gunning for 50 wins, which is reachable, attainable. Side note, that is insane. That's my focus right now. And if look, if you're in the audience and you want to talk about Kuminga extensively, I'm sure there's other programs you can go to. I want to focus on what matters. The Warriors winning. The Warriors pursuing a title.
They look amazing. They look amazing right now. And also, I wanted to say one more thing. Curry fell. Did you guys hear the crack when he hit the ground?
I heard a thud. I heard a noise.
If you turn the volume up, there was a crack. I was super scared about that. But then they said it I didn't hear anything about the X-ray, but they said he wanted to come back in the game, so that's probably a good sign.
Yeah. And it's a great sign. And again, I don't know if you ever suffered a bruised or broken. It's weird they're calling it pelvis because pelvis is a little different.
Exactly. When I heard that, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, and I hope that's not that. I hope there's nothing serious there, but it looked like a tailbone thing. And I don't know if any of you folks have ever done serious damage to your tailbone. It hurts. You can't hide that pain. You can't fake it and tough it out and be like, "I'm okay." No, that shit hurts. It feels like you got shot. But the seriousness of it long term is nil. That's why I hope that this is not a serious injury with no ramifications, because if it's not, this is a blessing, man. All you're going to get is Steph refreshed come postseason.
Exactly. We have 4 pretty winnable games. So, I mean, if he comes back in April 1st, that'd be great for the Grizzlies games. Hopefully he's not hurt that bad, but
Before you go, Ryan, and we got Gary Garcia who's going to wrap it up tonight for the guest line. This is the upcoming road trip. And tell me what you think about this, because it's not just the opponents that makes me smile. It's all the days off.
Yeah.
Dude, the NBA, for all the brutal back-to-backs and the brutal stretches the Warriors have had to endure this year, take a look at this upcoming road trip. They start Saturday in Atlanta. Insanely winnable. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's very winnable. Then Tuesday. That means Sunday they're off, Monday they're off. That's not a good thing. So amazing. Tuesday, they play the Miami Heat, a team that's lost 9 in a row. Then they're going to
want to win that one, though.
And they better win that one, yes. Then they get Wednesday off.
Wow.
Thursday off.
Wow.
Then Friday, they play the New Orleans Pelicans. Very winnable game. Then they have Saturday off. And then they play the Spurs, a team that is wholeheartedly tanking at this point.
Yeah.
Then they have Monday off.
Wow.
Then they play the Memphis Grizzlies Tuesday, and then it gets serious after that because
the Lakers
they finish the road trip Thursday in LA, and then Friday they play the Nuggets at home. So that's kind of crazy. But the point is, they're about to embark right now on a 6-game road trip where they have 6 days off in that road trip. Your thoughts?
I think it's great. That gives Curry more time to heal. That's all we really need right now at this moment. And during this time, we could have Kuminga come in and be a little bit more aggressive, which he that'd be great because they'll have more opportunity now.
And let me ask you this. I don't know how you felt, but Kuminga tonight looked a lot better than he did the last 4 games. He looked like he was 100%. Finally getting the rhythm back that he had before the injury. What did you think?
I think that's 100% true. He's jumping off 2 feet instead of doing that one-legged thing he was doing the other night.
Yeah.
And he's getting to his spots where his kind of like a Kawhi Leonard thing, kind of in the middle, he has that fadeaway shot. That's what ceiling is to me. I know that's a crazy ceiling, but that's what I hope for. I tell my friends that they think I'm crazy, but it looks like he could, if that's the way, that's a ceiling. So who knows if we'll reach that, but
no, I'm with you. I have no idea what the ceiling is. I still, if I had to guess, I'm still leaning towards Jaylen Brown, a player like that. But look, if that's what he ends up being, great, right? I mean, NBA champion, Finals MVP. But I have no clue what that ceiling is going to be for him. But I do agree with A-Rod1 in the chat who writes, people are going to be thankful for Kuminga in these next 2 weeks. I wholeheartedly agree. He's just going to get better and better. I mean, the version we saw of him in December will be back, and I can't wait for that. Where are you at, by the way? For some reason, I'm guessing San Francisco. I could be totally mistaken.
I live in Lincoln. It's like a suburb of Sacramento. I know it's crazy. I just love Curry so much. I stopped watching basketball for 2 years, and then Curry came into the league, and it was like a magnet back. Because I used to be, I liked the Kings for such a long time, and then Curry came in. I know it's kind of, I don't care what people say. I just love Curry's just so amazing to watch. You know what I mean?
Of course.
How could you not love Curry? I mean, you watch him. He's to me, I always tell people there's like like magic players that we've seen in the NBA. It goes for my lifetime. It goes Jordan, Kobe, Curry, and those are the players you watch. You're like, holy shit! When you watch these players, they just bring like, I don't know what it is, but when you watch them, you think they're gonna make every shot, and it's just pure magic. That's me.
Wholeheartedly agree with you. I feel like we'd have a good time hanging out together because we're on the same page. Like Frank Grimes brings up December, which was a fantastic month statistically for Kuminga. But Frank Grimes, who's clearly a Kuminga hater, and judge me if you will for entertaining and indulging his comments, which are ignorant. But it mentions that the Warriors were losing in December. There were 4-10 that month. Take note of who the opposition was. The December schedule was the most difficult stretch of games for the Warriors. Here, I'll pull it up right now just so you can see just how ridiculously difficult it was. And Frank apparently is forgetting just how bad this Warriors team was as well. This was not when they had Jimmy Butler. The Warriors were 25-26 when they traded for Jimmy Butler, but somehow he expects Jonathan Kuminga to carry the whole entire team, him and Steph Curry, as a 22-year-old in his fourth year. Here is, and who never plays 30 minutes a game either, which is vitally important. That's where a lot of the stats nerds lose me. In the month of December, the Warriors, this was their schedule: at Denver, Houston, Minnesota, Houston, Dallas when they were good, Memphis, Minnesota, Indiana, LA, Lakers, LA, Clippers, Phoenix Suns, Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's ridiculous.
December.
That's crazy. That
is crazy. But morons like this are going to say because the Warriors were 4-10 in that stretch that Kuminga's not a good player. Get the F out of here, dude. Like it's literally just hatred. You are literally just a hater, man. Any final thoughts, Ryan? Or do you just agree? I don't know.
I watch your show every time after the Warriors play, so I enjoy the entertainment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for joining us, man. I really appreciate that, and thank you, man. I'll
join some other time. Next time you're
all right. Please do. I hope you join us. Yeah, thank you, brother. Have a good night. And Gary, are you joining us from? Where are you joining us from? Orlando? Where are you?
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. Okay, I feel because I think there are two folks with the last name Garcia, and it's you in the Dominican, and then there's another who's in Orlando. Forgive me for the confusion. How are you doing, and how is life in the Dominican Republic on a Thursday evening?
Great. Look, people in the chat, and they're saying that it's only Toronto, but remember, we were losing to these teams. They were running us out of the gym.
Yes.
And now they're not. Second of all, Toronto, they're young, athletic, and presented problems for us that we're having a solution and answer for them. Third of all, Kuminga. Stop the hate. Come on, man. This guy, 22 years old, he's used to being the number one option, super athletic guy. He is it's the fourth year with us, but he's still learning the system. It's a really complicated system. Kuminga is the future. See, maybe an all-star, maybe a superstar, who knows, but we need him.
And look, if you're going to trade him, I'm not someone who's going to sit here and say like, no, you can't trade him no matter what. But don't come at me and propose Cam Johnson, a guy who's never made an all-star team, a guy who's pushing 30 and who does not lead his own team to winning. Don't propose that. Like, that's an absurd trade. Like come at me with a trade proposal that actually brings back someone of equal value. When we talk about value, it's not just the talent of the player himself. Age plays into it. Potential plays into it. You know, like what assets can you get back for this specific player comes into it. So Cam Johnson ain't it. All right. I'm not going to sit here and like block trade proposals for Kuminga. Be realistic though. Like come at me with proposals that actually make sense. Like if the Warriors, for some reason, that, like, let's say hypothetically this offseason, if the Warriors don't win the championship and Giannis Antetokounmpo is suddenly an option, of course you trade Kuminga for that. Like, I mean, you're not, that goes without saying, right? I try to be pragmatic about this, but it's just, I'm not going to hate on a kid who's never gotten a fair shake, who's never played consistent minutes, who when he plays 30 plus minutes delivers. That's the part about this that all the haters, you lose me in this front. When he plays 30 or more minutes, He delivers. His numbers are absurdly good. I used absurd again. I'm sorry. They're fantastic. When he plays, great things happen. It ain't complicated. So I'll leave it at that. Oh, go ahead, Garcia. Sorry, Gary.
And let's not forget, like you said the other day, he comes from a third world country. Nothing has been given. Everything has been earned.
Correct.
He's
a good dude.
He had to move here to the U.S. all alone. He was the 7th overall pick. This guy has had his fair share of problems, even with this team, with not getting the minutes that all his peers were getting. He just came back from a really nasty injury. He relies on his legs to explode.
Correct.
He's getting that confidence back, that hand-eye coordination, that game speed back. He's going to get his minutes, like Stricto Christo says. He's going to get his minutes.
And every time he does, man. I don't have the stats in front of me, but if you look at his numbers, every time he plays 30 minutes, it's like some sample size of 50 or 60 games over his career. His numbers are absurd. He's efficient. He scores. He grabs boards. No player will ever develop and reach their potential if they don't actually get NBA minutes. There's no replication for that in terms of experience.
With their ass on the bench, they're going to get experience.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And it's so annoying, the fact that Steve Kerr he's one of the luckiest SOBs on the planet. He gets
That's true.
All of these things drops like to his lap.
I think even he would admit that.
Pajensky, he was not playing last year, but injuries and things like that, all of a sudden 19 points a game, now Pajensky's in. Guy Santos, Podz, everything falls, but come on. Do not expect these guys to develop while riding the bench.
How's the weather in the Dominican Republic right now? Is it balmy? Like, are you going to the beach and kicking back and drinking?
Always summer. 52 weeks of summer.
But right now is like spring break time, right? Do you get annoyed by all the tourists and the crowds like that coming to and ruin your beaches?
That's constant. That's constant. We have we're like number 2 destiny of beaches, tourist beaches in the worldwide.
So Dominican Republic is a year-round destination. It's not like what's that place in South Texas? Is it I gotta look it up on the maps. There's that one beach area in South Texas that's like a popular spring break spot, but it's only like hopping certain times of the year. So in the Dominican, it doesn't matter what month, what day. It's bumping.
Year. The whole year.
Do you like that or do you hate that?
Oh, I love it.
You do? So you like tourists? Do you make money off them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
there
good.
Are bad tourists. There are good tourists. There are good people. There are bad people. It all depends.
I was thinking of South Padre Island, by the way, who, side note, I had such a wonderful experience there, but I went during like an off time. Like they have off times, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There is no off season for the Dominican Republic.
No. All year round.
And you're watching the Warriors, and like when you watch the Warriors in the Dominican, like what's your setup? Are you in a living room where like air conditioning's blasting? Do you have a TV set up outside so you can drink your cervezas and just scream? And like what's the setting for your Warriors experience?
I have my studio here, and I have like the big screen TV, and I also have the iPad laying here and checking the stats and everything, drinking some rum.
Dude, to me, it's hard to beat a cold beer on a hot day, man. It's just a beautiful feeling. And speaking of the best, the Warriors won again. Again, the record on the season is now 41-29. The Warriors had 30 assists in this game tonight. A lot of ball movement. I didn't think their issues this evening were as offensive necessarily, but the Warriors also out in terms of the rebounding battle. They lost to Toronto, and that doesn't either because Toronto did bring some size out there tonight. 44 rebounds for the Raptors, 38 for the Warriors, and the Warriors got killed in points in the paint tonight. The Raptors had 58 points in the paint to just 30 for Golden State. Yet they still win. Any reaction to that information?
Yeah, when Podz was off the floor, it was felt, the lack of size. When he came in, people were like thinking about it. That's the thing, that they deter the shots. They like go in and go out again. They probe. and size matters. We're seeing it.
Yeah. It doesn't like tonight I thought was a good example of where that starting five is not optimal. It depends on the opposition. Like I did not like Draymond Green manning up against Jakob Poeltl for a lot of possessions. Like that there's such a disparity there. And it's one thing if it's the playoffs, and it's crucial minutes in a game, but when you're starting a game, I don't know, man. What do you think?
And remember, Jakob Poeltl, he's a true 7-footer. He's 250. He's banging. Yeah. He's banging.
He's a big dude. He's a big dude.
Remember, Draymond has a bad back. We need to preserve him for the playoffs.
Exactly. So, all right, brother. Well, enjoy your night. Am I going to see you Saturday?
One last thing. I had a bad feeling about this game. I was like, Curry shouldn't be playing today. We're gonna win. Without him, he should rest. And bam! As soon as I saw him with that landing, I turned the TV off. I was, damn! I freaking knew it.
I mean, look, Steph. I feel like Steph would play through like a broken leg if he could. It's unfortunate that sometimes he forces his way into the lineup when rest is the best medicine for him. The Nuggets game I thought was a perfect example of that. Like
he's a super professional.
Yeah.
If he can play, he will play because he knows that there are people that are saving up money and buying things up ahead to see him. He's a super professional, a great super athlete all around with the interviews, post game. He always says it's the right thing. But man, he should take care of himself more.
And if there's any good news from this, and let's hope that this is an injury that just requires some rest. Apparently they're going to get an MRI on him. Let's hope he's going to be okay. And because if he is, this is a blessing in disguise. Like I think the rest is going to help him in terms of the postseason. But all right, brother, have a great rest of the evening in paradise. The Dominican Republic, Gary Garcia, thank you. Let's hear from Jimmy Butler, who had a triple-double tonight. Fantastic game. I don't think the Warriors win this game without him. Yeah. So here is Jimmy Butler. And I believe this is a lighthearted moment. This is courtesy of my former employer, KNBR, who, when they post sound, usually it's good. This is some Jimmy Butler, Buddy Hield banter. I don't know if you folks remember when these two were going back and forth, and Jimmy Butler asked Buddy Hield to spell the word connector. I think that's what it was. Anyways, here's Jimmy Butler again.
It'd be better if it was like B-U-D-D-I-E, but B-D-D-Y is kind of boring. Can you go home, man? I'm going home to go back. Yo, buddy. Yes. Buddy. Okay, leave me alone. Jimmy, go upstairs. Buddy. Yes. Fire away. How does
Oh, dude, those two must talk so much shit to each other when the cameras aren't on. There's another soundbite though that actually provides some context in terms of the game itself. This is courtesy of Sam Gordon, who's going to join us on the upcoming road trip. A beat reporter for the San Francisco Chronicle. I believe he's going to join us around the time the team is in Miami. This attribution pertains to that last-minute block that Jimmy Butler had. In case you forgot, the Raptors, again, they were in this until the very end, and I think it was Quentin Grimes. Correct me if I'm wrong on that part of it. In fact, the stats are right here. Let me pull that up. I want to get this play right in terms of who that block was on. And this was very late in the game. And I think it was Quentin Grimes. Let me real fast here get that exact play. Thankfully, play-by-play is part of the information published by the NBA. So Jonathan Kuminga Jimmy Butler got his block on, let me see if I can find that. Damn it. I can't find it. I think it was Quinn Grimes. It might have been or Quinn Grimes. It might have been, I keep saying that. I'm sorry. Emmanuel Quickly is what I was trying to refer to. Anyways, well, I can't find who the block was on, but it was a fantastic block. And here is Jimmy Butler talking about that huge play at the end, referencing his athleticism and the fact that he still has it. Dude looked good out there, by the way. There was a monster slam he had in this game tonight that at 35, it looked good that he's pulling this off. Here is Jimmy Butler talking about his defense in lieu of a triple-double tonight.
Not that long ago, you were talking about how you don't really jump no more. And then I've seen you like sky for a dunk, and now you're getting up for a block. Do you know when, all right, it's time to get up, or is it just instinctual?
It's just instincts at that point. I try not to do it, but I can jump a little bit. Not like I used to. I'm not JK jumping. You know? I can jump higher than VP though. I can do that. But I think there's a time and place for it, and there was a time and place for it tonight.
So
it's there.
Moment just
it's there. It's in like I can feel it, and then I feel the way that I feel after the game. So, but we won, so it's all a good call.
Given that you had some time off earlier this year, do you feel fresher at this point in the season than you might normally?
No.
And side note, that is Sam Gordon he has a deep voice. So continue on. Here we go.
And I didn't choose to have time off.
For sure.
Let's just get that out the way. But I do feel good. I'm telling you, winning takes care of everything. Winning makes all the pain go away. Winning is one of the best things in the world. No, I'm glad that I can be winning here.
Oh, I'm so glad Jimmy Butler's a part of this team. I love the fact that the little shade he dissed to Brandon Pajemski, saying he's got better hops than him, doesn't have better hops than Jonathan Kuminga, not the same athlete at 35 that he was at 25. Nonetheless, he let his instincts take over, and he got a monster block to seal the deal for the Warriors tonight. Cannot get over how exalted I am to have Jimmy Butler, a player I always loved watching before he was a member of the Warriors, and now he's on the team that I cover and love. One more Jimmy Butler attribution, and this one's courtesy of Anthony Slater. Jimmy Butler here talking about the impact of Stephen Curry potentially missing some time because of the injury. Again, pelvis contusion is what's being reported. MRI is coming. Steve Kerr did say Stephen Curry wanted to come back into the game, but they thankfully shut him down. Here is Jimmy Butler talking about the Warriors expecting to play without Steph for the immediate future.
I think the message is going to be whether he's with us or whether he's not. Hopefully he is. But if he isn't, that's just more perfect basketball that we're going to have to play. We can't afford to turn the ball over. We can't afford to foul because we don't have the one individual that can automatically get us back into the game. But we want the guy. We want our guy with us.
And again, most of these sound bites are taken by the reporters' phones. I'm cranking the volume up as high as I can, so please forgive me for those sound bites and the volume or lack thereof. Gary Garcia, I think he was just on with us a moment ago. Thank you for the added research, saying that the block that Jimmy Butler successfully executed was on Jamal Shade. I forgot how he pronounced his last name, but Jamal Shade of the Toronto Raptors came off the bench tonight to score 11 points, had 6 assists, 4 rebounds for Toronto, including a 2 of 3 shooting performance from deep. But that block prevented Toronto from winning, or at least from potentially winning. Toronto tonight, like a lot of teams do against the Golden State Warriors, shot 42.3% from deep. The Warriors themselves shot 40.4%, 19 of 47 from beyond the arc for the Golden State Warriors. Toronto was 11 of 26 in the loss for them, and the win for the Golden State Warriors. See, now Frank Grimes, that I agree with, that Andrew Wiggins was bringing some bad vibes to this Warriors team, and the Warriors will see Wiggins very soon when they take on the Miami Heat in the upcoming future. A 6-game road trip for the Golden State Warriors coming up. I wanted to share this graphic with you real fast before we go over the brief scoreboard tonight and the standings. I know a bunch of teams that you want to lose, if you like the Warriors, lost tonight. But the Warriors just completed a 7-game homestand that, outside of a loss to the Denver Nuggets, was perfect. 6-1. They averaged 114 points per game, while they gave up 107 points per game. They shot 46.3% from the field in these 7 games, 39.2% shooting from beyond the arc. a net rating of 5.6 during the homestand. The 6-1 record for a 7-game homestand, tied for the best in franchise history. So there you go. And let's play some tunes and wrap it up on this Thursday night. Oh, Peter Jennings, I'm sorry, dropped $5 in the chat. Please forgive me for that, saying that I think most people don't hate on Kuminga. I'm just always defending him and rarely ever are critical of him for any reason that we want more objectivity. I mean, what is there to criticize? I bring up the 3-point shooting. It should get better. He's shooting at 35% on the year. But again, my thing is that I don't think there is any way to objectively judge him because he doesn't play enough. That's my entire take. How can you be more objective than that? That's all I'm saying. You cannot properly judge a player of his caliber if he's not playing. That's my point. I'm not sitting here saying that he is an amazing superstar. Never once said that. I never said I think he's going to be an amazing superstar. If I had to guess, I would say that. I think he's going to be a great player. I do think the potential is clearly there. I like what I see from the kid. I don't like the minutes that is given to him because none of us, myself included, can properly analyze him. So my issue comes repeatedly from people who pretend they know what he is already. None of you know what he is. You can't know that because he doesn't play enough. When he does play enough, and then we start providing a proper analysis, I think then you'll hear an actual critique. You'll hear actual analysis. But that's my whole thing from the get-go. Don't have strong opinions for individuals when you haven't seen them play enough. How can you have a strong opinion otherwise? That's all I'm trying to say. And Frank Grimes, who writes that the team is good without him, and you base that on a 31-game stretch where the Warriors had the easiest part of their schedule. Yeah, they're good without him when they're playing a bunch of scrubs. But if you really think this Warriors team is going to be better in the postseason without him, that is insane. Because at a bare minimum, he can handle the ball. He gives you size. He's easily the most athletic player on this team. When he went down with injury, he was already second on the team in scoring. So I don't know why you diminish that. Side note, that is objectivity. He was second on the team in scoring. He was first on the team in free throw attempts. Yet he was last year, I think he was 7th on the team in minutes. This year, I think he was 5th before the injury. What do you mean, no sigh? Frank, why don't you get your ass on this show? I post the link repeatedly. Why do you never come on the show and actually have discourse? Is your only strength typing on a keyboard? That's the part that frustrates me with folks like you. You keyboard warrior punks, man. It's anybody can sit there and type on a screen. It takes talent to actually be able to interpersonally communicate with someone else and articulate your points at a clear enough manner where a lot of people are understanding it. And you're winning rhetorical arguments as a result of that. There is no respect coming from me for people who type on a keyboard and think they deserve recognition for that. Hell no. Frank, who cares about your looks, brother? Who cares? Who cares? I will never judge you or anyone else for your looks. Come on the show sometime, man. Come on. Let's have an actual discussion about that. By the way, Jerry, I know my voice is like dying here. Jerry in the chat, by the way, good memory, man. You go way back in terms of my media career. Early in my broadcast career, I guess. I was executive producer for a show on KNBR. Excuse me, called the John London Not Just Sports Show. And thank you for that. That was a long ass time ago, man. That was from I think that was 2002 to 4 was the 3-year run on that. Anyways, let's play some music and let's start wrapping it up here on a Thursday night. Pours out. And side note, I have no idea what happened tonight. every time I do the scoreboard, it's my first experience with it as much as you folks. We start things off in LA, where the Los Angeles Lakers got their asses kicked tonight. That feels loud. Sorry. All right. The same Milwaukee Bucks that the Warriors beat 2 nights ago just took care of business against the Lakers. 118-89, the final. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 28 points, 7 rebounds in the win. ESPN, every time you hear me list one player's stats after a game like this, I'm just picking out what ESPN has selected for their breakout performer. I don't have enough time to do research on each individual game and who stood out. So I'm just going off what ESPN says. And this is who ESPN lists as the top performer for the Lakers in tonight's 118-89 loss. Bronny James with 17 points. And now I am going to look at the box score because I'm curious to know if Bronny James deserves those accolades. And oh my God, he does. Bronny James was tied for the team lead in points with Dalton Connect, both players scoring 17 points in a losing effort. Luka Doncic did not play in that game, interestingly enough. And one other stat worth noting with Bronny, who did finish 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from deep in 30 minutes of play. Bronny James was also a minus 36 in net rating, meaning in those 30 minutes that he played basketball, Milwaukee outscored the Lakers by 30 points. The Chicago Bulls. Oh, real fast. The Lakers dropped to 43-26. Yeah. And Milwaukee improves to 39-30. The Chicago Bulls, 128-116 winners tonight over the Sacramento Kings at Golden One Center. What's going on? Yeah. I don't see no damn beam out there tonight. The Northern California skies are clear of the light pollution that comes from Sacramento. Nikola Vucevic, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists in the win. Malik Monk, 34 points in the loss for a Kings team that drops to 35-34. Chicago, the most pathetic franchise in the NBA, dropped to 30-40. 2 more games on the night. The Indiana Pacers defeating the Brooklyn Nets in Indiana 105-99 to improve to 40-29. The Nets dropping to 23-47. Benedict Mathurin, 28 points, 16 rebounds in the win. Zaire Williams, 22 points in the loss. And last but not least, the Charlotte Hornets defeating the New York Knicks in Charlotte 115-98. The final, Charlotte improves to 18-51. The Knicks drop to 43-26. Mark Williams, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks in the win. Karl Anthony Towns, 24 points, 10 rebounds in the loss. And that leads to the standings. And oh boy, am I curious. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here so we can all see together where the Warriors stand on a Thursday, March 20th. Happy first day of spring. Happy Nowruz if you celebrate that. Here we go. So well, this is interesting. The Phoenix Suns, if the season ended today, would be a play-in team. The Dallas Mavericks continue their slide. Oh my God. Dallas has lost 9 of their last 10. So Dallas and Phoenix are tied at 33-37. But Phoenix is now the 10 seed in the West, and that's likely how it's going to shake out when all is said and done. Sacramento is your 9 seed at 35-34. Minnesota drops to 8. With a 40-31 record. The LA Clippers are now 7th with a 39-30 record. You don't want to finish tied with LA in the standings because LA owns the tiebreaker. Minnesota, on the other hand, a different story. That's okay. You also don't want to finish in a three-way tie with those two teams because Golden State would be the odd team out. And I think that's because of conference record. So that's how that plays out. And then the Warriors are currently 6. With tonight's win, they're now 41-29. They've won 9 of their last 10. So they're 16 and a half games behind the Thunder. But, and this is music, at least to my ears, they're now just 2 games back of Memphis. Just 2. They're 2.5 games back of the LA Lakers. 3 games back of the Denver Nuggets. And 4 games back of the Houston Rockets, who are the 2 seed. And if the season ended today, this is how it would shake down. I'm going to start doing this now. So the play-in tournament would feature Phoenix and Sacramento. Loser of that game goes home. Excuse me. The winner of that game, and that game will be played in Sacramento. The winner of that game would play the loser of the Clippers and the Timberwolves. That game would be played in Intuit in LA, Inglewood more specifically. So the Clippers, if they win that game, would get the winner of that game would basically get the 7 seed. The loser of that game would play the winner of the Kings Suns game for the 8 seed. So let's say hypothetically the Clippers beat Minnesota in a 7-8 matchup. LA would get the 7 seed. Minnesota would then host the winner of the Kings Suns game for the 8 seed. So let's say hypothetically Sacramento beats Phoenix. You would then have Sacramento traveling to Minnesota for and the winner of that game gets the 8 seed. The loser is out. Meanwhile, the OKC Thunder would await the 8 seed. The Houston Rockets, if the season ended today, as the 2 seed, would play the 7 seed. So in this hypothetical, I picked out the Clippers. So it would be Rockets and Clippers. And this part sucks, and this is why hopefully it does not finish like this. The Denver Nuggets, as the 3 seed, would take on the Golden State Warriors, who are the 6 seed. Again, don't want that matchup. That's just me. And then the Lakers and the Grizzlies would be your final first round matchup. That's where we are. And the Warriors have an insanely easy road trip coming up. 6 games, 6 off days. Sign me up. I don't know what a super sticker is, but Dank Dank just gave one. Thank you. $3 super sticker. My God, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Really do. Young West 79 bringing up the odds makers, putting the Warriors now in the top 5 in terms of favorites to win it all. I've seen that as well. It makes sense. I mean, the Warriors are surging right now, and you have national media prognosticators calling the Warriors the second best team in the West. At least some people are. Yeah, the hype is back. MJ mentioning that the Lakers, if the Warriors played them in the playoffs, would be free throw merchants. And Bob Fitzgerald made this point on he was being interviewed on a show recently, and he brought up the Lakers as being a team that he does not want to see the Warriors play, largely because of the free throw aspect. And that Luka Doncic and LeBron James together will probably average 50 free throw attempts just between those two. Jesus Christ. I agree with see now, Frank, this is called a full circle moment, folks. See now Frank Grams is repeatedly saying things I agree with. Memphis, the Lakers, Houston, OKC, they're all food for the Golden State Warriors. Wholeheartedly agree. Simon, too, mentioning that Kevon Looney will be a liability against LA and Denver. Again, LA, just my opinion on this, but the Anthony Davis trade weakened them in terms of matchup potential versus the Warriors. I forgot who said it in the show tonight. Did someone say it on the show tonight? But I thought someone said that the postseason is all about matchups, and I agree, which is why, again, Memphis and Houston are the most ideal opponents for the Golden State Warriors. The Lakers, I think, were a much more difficult matchup when they had Anthony Davis versus Luka Doncic. That's just me, but the Warriors can handle that. I feel confident in saying that. But Denver, so the Kevon Looney part of this, again, with LA, I think he's serviceable. He has a role. He brings value. Denver, you're right. Kevon Looney is practically worthless against the Nuggets. He can't defend Jokic. He can't defend Aaron Gordon. He looks bad. All right. Otherwise, that's it. Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m., join me and the Hall of Famer Rick Barry. Will be joining us. Been a few weeks since we've had Rick on the show. He's going to provide some insights. Going to tell the audience how he feels about the Warriors, and if there's an absolutely beautiful thing about Rick Barry is that he's going to keep it real. He's authentic. He's a straight shooter. The dude is a Warriors legend, yet he will criticize the Warriors if it's warranted. He'll also praise them if it's warranted, and he joins the show tomorrow. Until then, lively chat. I always love it because it makes things entertaining. So thank you, and good game for the Warriors. Let's hope Steph Curry is okay. We should have more information about that as well tomorrow when Rick joins the show. Until then, I think curmudgeon's a little disrespectful for Rick, but I get it. But I love Rick. He's my boy. You're my boy, Blue. And only in this case, you're my boy, Rick. Anything else? Armando Lara, thank you for the super sticker. I don't know what super stickers are, but I'll take them. Thank you. That's insanely generous. And otherwise, and Chardal, look at this. Chardal is joining us on Saturday as well. You damn right, Urias. I like your name, Urias. Urias Delfringer. Is that your real name? If it's not, where the hell did you get that from? It's creative. It's unique. And if it's your real name, bravo. Anyways, yes, that is an old school reference. Will Ferrell, you're my boy, Blue. The word blue, when it comes to movie or show references, you can also evoke South Park. I don't know if you South Park junkies out there are familiar with the episode where Randy Marsh had to replace his toilet. It was blue. Oh, blue. And he replaced the toilet with a Japanese toilet. That's just a fantastic show. Every single episode is phenomenal. Oh, Blue. All right, we're done. Thanks, everyone. We'll be back at this tomorrow, 1:30. Come join the party. Go Dubs. Good win. It was close. It was hairy, but good win. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.